traffic is backed up, and I'm damn well not waiting in that shit. I don't like sitting behind that because I always feel like I'm gonna get rear-ended sitting behind all these people, because I feel like they're not paying attention. They just go flying up, not paying attention on their phone, scrolling TikTok, doing random shit. And I feel like it's gonna end up hitting you. Why do you do that to me? I don't know, sometimes a bike, when I'm going from third to second, sometimes it pops into second for like 0.5 seconds and then hops into neutral. I don't know why it does that. I was like, it doesn't happen often, but sometimes when I'm downshifting, I'm going from third to second. I'm not even trying to go to first, just third to second. It just pops into neutral. And then I'm like, I'm clicking, pulling the clutch, clicking, trying to get it back in second, and it's like, and eventually it takes it with a little bit of throttle. But I don't know, let me know if you have that issue, because I've only had it pop up maybe like 2 or 3 times in my whole ownership so far. I'm almost at about a year, but it's not that bad, but I'm still concerned as to why that shit keeps happening, because I've never heard of anybody going from third to second and then the bike just hops into neutral on its own. I'll have to watch that back maybe in slow motion, but I don't think the bike should do that. There shouldn't be any issue going from third to second. I guess if I was going from second to first and the bike dropped into neutral, but I don't know. I've had this happen a couple times, and usually it's not bad. Usually if I'm ripping, say I'm like hitting some country back roads, I'm coming into a corner and I'm dropping from third to second, I've never had it drop into neutral and accident and I start like free rolling. That would be scary. I've only had it drop into neutral on when I'm like slowing down. I'm like calmly slowing down into traffic, where I'm not ripping. I'm just taking it easy. That's the only time I've really had that issue happen, is when I'm just chilling. I'm easy on the shifter. That plate's falling off. That's kind of crazy. Oh, it's the new Texas Temp plates. I don't know, for those people who don't know, they stopped doing the paper printed out temp plates. They started doing physical paper or physical metal tags as temporary plates, because of all the issues with the stolen cars and cars that aren't registered. And people are just printing out fake temporary plates, sticking them on the car and driving around for years like that, never registering, I'm sure, in the car, but they got a temporary plate, so technically they don't get bothered. But now it seems like they're doing away with that to deal with all the fraud and stolen cars and weird shit that be going on. Welcome to the vlog, welcome to the video. I should have started this earlier, but you know, I kind of got sidetracked with some of the shit going on. But currently I'm on my way to the barber shop to get a haircut. I need it. I look rough, look a little dusty, but my thought for today's video was to talk about, the idea for today's video was to talk about the true cost of motorcycles. I feel like enough people don't talk about the true cost of ownership. And I'm not just talking about like, oh, I see a bike, I like a bike, I buy a bike. No, I'm talking more about how much does it cost from start to finish to buy the bike, complete your MSF course to get your license, get your gear, and deal with the maintenance that's associated with the bike. There's a lot that goes into owning a bike, and it's not just as simple as like, I got $5 grand, I can go buy a bike, or I'm gonna walk into a dealership and drop some cash and finance the rest. But there's a lot that goes into it. Look at with these slow drivers. Like, they be in the fast lane, full of slow as shit. I don't know. Texas drivers are weird. They be weird. Like, I feel like this traffic shouldn't exist. For the most part, it's just people going slow. There's no reason that we should have this many people just going 50, 60 in the wrong lanes. They're just clogging up the road. Anyway, enough traffic ranting done. First things first, when you're thinking about getting a motorcycle, I say the first thing that I started with is also the most important, is taking the MSF course. Because you want to get a motorcycle, but will you actually enjoy riding it? Because when I took my MSF course, there was quite a few people who dropped out. They could not take it. Not to say that they might not ever do it ever again, but at that moment, motorcycles just weren't for them. They couldn't get the concept of the clutch. There's one dude who was doing some drills. I think we're doing U-turns or something. Came in a little hot, grabbed a handful of front brake, slid out, fell. I don't think he landed on his face. I think he smacked his shoulder to the ground. He wasn't going that fast though. He's doing maybe 20, if that, maybe 15 miles an hour. He hit the ground, he laid there for a sec, got up, walked over to his car, drove off. Didn't say a single word. Sounds a little dramatic, but that's exactly what he did. The instructor ended up just picking the bike up, putting it away, and we just continued. But some of these trucks be aggressive as shit. I was like, I clearly merged in front of him with this truck, and he's just like, I'm gonna keep going faster, faster, closer, faster, closer. I don't know. Some of these people be doing some weird shit when they merge. I don't understand it. Anyways, back to the MSF course. I took my MSF course before anything else. Why did I do that? I took my MSF course to see if I would enjoy riding motorcycles. I feel like that's the most important step. Because if you end up buying a bike and you don't end up liking it, you're not going to want to ride it. It's a waste of money. You're going to invest all this time, money, and effort into buying a bike, getting gear, getting your license, just for you to not enjoy it. I say take the MSF course first. That's the most important step. I took the MSF course, and it reinstilled my idea. Like, I'm not no stranger to riding motorcycles as far as like the concept of it, but I rode dirt bikes before and a few street bikes, but I've never had a bike on the open road, like on a highway or main street. It's supposed to just, a friend has a bike, let me ride around the neighborhood real quick. That's about it. I used to ride motocross when I was a kid, but that was like 10 years ago. So I took the MSF course, I enjoyed it. I feel like it helped me feel like I had to be safe. Also, when you take the MSF course, the most important thing that I did, at least for me, to help me get through the course, because I was dead set on riding motorcycles, getting a motorcycle, but I at least brought some gear. I had a helmet and some gloves. I didn't have to wear the goofy half helmets that just cover the top of your head. I feel like those are unsafe because if you fall on your face, you're gonna flick up your face, your teeth, your chin. Anyways though, moral of the story is that the most important thing when it comes to getting into motorcycles, if you're thinking about getting a motorcycle, is to take the MSF course. See if you actually enjoy riding motorcycles before you invest into it. After that, once you take the course, you understand the concepts of riding motorcycles, you feel a little bit more confident. Then I feel like it's a good time to go and start looking at bikes, because then you have a good idea of how it functions. Then you can determine what kind of bike you would like to ride. Do you want a cruiser like a Harley, an Indian? Do you want a sports bike? Do you want a naked bike? For me, I chose naked bike mostly because of the seating position and that they're more chill, they're more easy to get started with. A sports bike, you're gonna be less comfortable, it's more aggressive seating wise. With the naked bikes though, you're more upright, it's more natural. Yes, you can still kind of tuck down, but you don't have the wind protection. That's the biggest thing with naked bikes. You don't have the same wind protection as a sports bike. Some people, that's a con. I say it's not that bad, especially if you're just traveling at normal speeds, 60, 70, 80 on the highway. It's not bad at all. If you're trying to keep up with a 600cc or 1000, trying to rip behind them going 100 plus, then good luck with that. That wind's gonna beat you. It's gonna beat you up. I know from personal experience that it strains on your neck. You better have a strong neck. Pause. Better have a strong neck though, because that's just going to hurt. Pause. You'll understand what kind of bike you want and what kind of riding style you want to do, because some people only want cruisers. Some people only want to be comfortable cruising around on a naked bike, mostly because they can do wheelies and they can do different things on it. I don't know, that's for you to decide. Once you do the MSF course, I feel like that's the best time to learn, because then you can kind of figure out what you want to do. I'd say the next step is to kind of figure out your budget, because for some people they say you should only buy a bike in cash, and some people say you should finance a bike because then you can take your time paying it off, and blah blah blah. Everybody's gonna have their own opinion on whether you should buy it in cash or finance it. My opinion, I'd say the most important thing, I don't care if you finance your bike or buy it in cash, get whatever bike you want, whatever makes you happy, because life is too short to be worrying about those kind of things. I'd say if you can afford a monthly payment, go for it. Why not? If you can afford to buy it in cash, go for it. I'd say the most important thing, insure your damn bike. I don't know why so many people are getting these expensive ass bikes and not getting insurance. You need to insure these bikes. Like, not just because it's legally you have to get insurance, but mostly because what happens if you fuck up your bike? What happens if you crash? Are you just gonna be pissed off and crying because your bike's gone and you have no money now? You have all these medical bills. You're gonna have medical bills. You're gonna have no bike, no gear, whatever. It's gonna be all gone. Your bike's total, your gear's destroyed, your clothes are destroyed. Now you're in a hospital. You got 50 grand in debt from all these medical bills to have surgery. That's like an extreme situation, but it's the reality for a lot of people. if you don't have insurance, if you don't insure your bike, you don't have proper medical insurance, shit can happen. Like, things can happen, things can go sideways. You want to protect yourself, not just by wearing gear all the time to be safe while riding, but also make sure that you have the proper things in place, like medical insurance for your bike and for your gear. Like, I have my insurance through Progressive. It's not that expensive, at least for me. I don't have any tickets or anything. I don't know about other people, but at least have the minimum, something, at least liability, so that way you don't get sued in case you run into the back of a car and they want you to pay for it. You need at least some level of insurance. But that's my rant. I keep seeing a lot of people end up getting their bikes destroyed. They end up getting merged into, they're running the back of somebody, or just unforeseen circumstances, somebody cuts them off and they end up getting hit or sideswiped or something like that. But they have no insurance. So I'm like, what the hell are y'all doing? You got this $20,000, $15,000, $30,000 bike, doesn't matter how expensive. Even fucking my bike was like, I think 14 grand. I still want insurance. If this thing, God forbid, I get hit going through the intersection or something, I want it to be insured. I want to be able to have a new bike when I'm ready, or at least the money that I put into this. I don't want to just be out of bike and be sad about it and then have to wait until I can afford to buy another one after I deal with all those medical bills and expenses. Like, I don't understand it. Anyways, though, that's enough ranting about insurance. Once you consider the price of the bike and insurance, and you can make sure that you afford it, I feel like the most important thing next is gear. A lot of people have like a debate on this right now. Gear sounds popular. Most people want to look cool rather than be protected. I feel like being protected is cool because I don't want missing skin, but personal preference. It's up to debate. Everybody can do what they want to do. But I feel like bare minimum, helmet, gloves. That's what you need. I don't care what else you wear, helmet and gloves. You want to protect your hands, you do everything with your hands, and you want to protect your head. You don't have a head, you're not living no more. Plain simple, you don't want to be a vegetable. But gear can get pretty damn expensive. Like, I know like some people like paying $1,500, $1,700 for these helmets, like the AGV pieces and all that good shit. But you don't have to break the bank. You can get a more budget-oriented helmet. Oh, what the hell's going on there? Oh, he's towing the car. Flipped around. That was weird. Did that all of a sudden. Anyways, though, this gear that's more affordable, you don't have to spend $1,700 on an AGV Pista. You can get a perfectly functional helmet for $200. Like KYT has the KYT Rebuild. I'm not sponsored by them or anything, but I do have the KYT NC Race. I love this helmet. It's carbon, $500. Nothing crazy. It looks good, feels good, and it's light. You can get good helmets for $200, $500, less than $1,000. You can get some good gloves for less than $100. Even $50, you can get some perfectly nice gloves for $50. Go to Cycle Gear. There's plenty of options for armored pants, everything under the sun. They have great prices, great deals, and rewards programs. I'm not sponsored by them or anything, but I do use them quite a bit. I'm just saying, protect your body. Gear does add up in cost, but you'll start collecting stuff over time and it becomes nice. Anyways, though, I'll continue this rant after my haircut. Finally arrived at the barbershop. See my good friend Mr. Barry. Oh shit, somebody else brought their bike out today. I wonder if it's his. Nah, I think his car's here today. I don't know whose bike that is. The good old Ninja 650. I think it's sick. Alright, just finished getting a haircut, got some gas. Now let's get back to the topic. I think the last thing I was talking about was insurance and why it's important, and also why it's important to wear gear. I think the last couple things I wanted to talk about that I guess most people don't think about when they think about getting a bike is the cost of maintenance. It doesn't have to be crazy, but maintenance does get pretty pricey. For example, when you think about maintenance, most people think, oh, it's just oil changes and I just ride the bike. That's about it. But there's still other things that are involved with it, because most of these bikes, especially if you get a newer bike, are pretty complicated. There's a lot of sensors, there's computers, ECUs, and so on and so on and so on. So you got to think about all the different sensors and stuff like that. Even my buddy, brand new BMW, he's got issues, lots of issues. Bike won't run. But BMW does BMW things. But for me, with the Ducati, I haven't had too many issues. For the most part, the only issue that I can think of that I had that mildly annoyed me was the gas gauge. Sometimes it still spasses out, but the gas gauge stopped working. It stopped telling me accurately how much gas I actually had, which is it's actually a big problem, because I kind of rely on this so I can know when I need to fill up and stuff like that. But anyways, it's not just things like that, like electronics, but you also have more common things which everybody needs, is fucking tires. You need tires, especially if you're gonna be doing a lot of riding. It adds up quickly. You need tires, you need brakes, chains, sprocket. You need to make sure you're properly maintaining those. I would say at least if you're riding the bike once a week, I would say at least take a look at your chain maybe every couple rides. You might not have to actually clean and lube the chain every couple rides, but you should at least be looking at it, making sure that it's not getting rusty, it's not dry, because that'll save you some money in the long run. But you want to make sure that you're keeping up with your chain maintenance. You want to make sure that your tire pressures are correct. You want to make sure you have enough tire tread life, because tires, those are quite expensive for a bike, like especially if you want to get name brand like Michelin's, or I run the Pirellis. It's like $300 a tire. You got to make sure that you price in that kind of thing, especially if you're buying a used bike. You end up with a used bike that needs an oil change, brakes, sprockets, chains, tires. That's like a couple grand right there. And just maintenance from a used bike that you thought you were saving money on. That's why some people prefer to buy a new bike as the first bike, so that way they can ride it without having to worry about doing maintenance right off the bat. But it's a give and take. Like if you can find a good deal on a used bike and you know how to work on this stuff yourself like I do, you can pretty much knock out most of your maintenance yourself. But it all just depends. Like I don't mind working on my own bike because I enjoy that kind of stuff, but you got to price in maintenance. It doesn't need to be crazy, but there should at least be some sort of budget put towards maintaining your bike, whether it's chain maintenance, just cleaning the bike, and just checking on it every now and then. Because you never know what could pop up. You're going pretty fast, you only have 2 wheels, you're going to make sure that your brakes work, your clutch works, and your tires are good. Because that's all that's keeping you safe. You want to make sure that all those things are good. And then the other thing that I feel like people overlook is accessories. Because everybody's like, oh, I'm not going to mod it, I'm not going to do nothing to it, I'm going to keep it stock. You say that until you get it. Like, you don't have to be going crazy doing carbon fiber mods and all that craziness, but I know for sure everybody wants at least a nice sounding exhaust. That is mandatory. A good sounding exhaust, and at least a tail tidy, so that way you don't have that diaper hanging off the back of your bike. You want to make sure that your bike looks good, runs good, sounds good. So that's the things that I can at least think of that most people don't really think about, which is maintaining the bike and modding the bike. They don't have to be crazy mods, but a lot of people want to have an aesthetically pleasing bike that looks decent, that has like a nice tuck plate and stuff like that. But just to summarize it all, it's important to think about these things when you're looking at buying your first bike or buying another bike. How much does the bike cost? Am I going to finance it? Am I going to pay cash? What is it going to look like to maintain the bike? The insurance costs. What does the bike need? Does it need more oil changes more often? What are the service intervals like? Stuff like that. How much is my gear going to cost me? What kind of gear am I actually going to wear? You don't want to buy stuff that you're not going to wear because it's not comfortable. That defeats the purpose of having gear if you're not going to wear the gear. But those are just things to think about. I'll probably wrap up the video here. I hope you enjoy. If you like the video, please comment, please subscribe. I'm going to try to keep pushing out more videos about topics that people are interested in. Most of these ideas come to me because you guys comment on my beginner video talking about what it's like to take the MSF course. I think that video was pretty useful to a lot of people to kind of know what to expect, because when I went into it, I had no clue what to expect. I've never gone to do any of this kind of stuff, and I want to document it to kind of show other people and answer some questions that at least I had that I couldn't find answers to. So if you have other topics you want me to talk about, please leave it below, and I'll make videos about it. I enjoy this kind of stuff to help other people. If I can't figure it out, then I can talk to other people who might have experience with it or may know something more about it. But we're all on this journey together. We're all bikers. We're all trying to have fun. We're all trying to enjoy those roads, get out there and have a fun hobby. So ride safe, and hopefully you buy your first bike or you buy your next bike and you enjoy it. Thanks for watching.